Welcome to Daniel Reviews. Today is not a review video, but it is an update on a persistent problem I've been having with my Delta Pros and smart home panel. And I was waiting to do this video because I was hoping that I would actually have a resolution from Ecoflow, and then I could share with you how, what the resolution is. But that has not yet yielded any fruit. So this is a persistent, ongoing problem that's been going on for about a month, and with no end in sight, which is, it's annoying, but I did want to create a video and explain the behavior, mostly because maybe you might be experiencing this, and I want you to know you're not alone, and that others are experiencing it, and hopefully we will have a solution and I can share that with you. But with that in mind, I'll explain what's going on. All right, so I've shown my Delta Pros and smart home panel setup in several other videos. I basically have two smart home panels. One is dedicated only for my split phase circuits, so my air conditioner, my cooktop, my electric dryer, oven, and maybe one other thing. But basically those main 240 volt applications, that panel is dedicated for that, and I got two Delta Pros powering those circuits. The other circuit, or the other panel, is the 10 single phase 110 volt circuits that I have in my house, and that's the one I've been having problems with over the past month to maybe 2 months now, really. And the issue is that when both Delta Pros are charging from like a lower charge rate, charge state, like 20%, it works fine. It's feeding the panels, or the circuits, and it's charging up the Delta Pros, all like you would normally get. However, when both of them or one of them gets close to 100% fully charged, it starts to have problems. In that, if I look at the logs on the smart home panel, I start seeing discharge error, battery shuts off, all the circuits switch to grid. Then it's like, oh, we got battery power, switch back on, switch to battery, and then it runs with that, and then battery error, it occurs again. And this can happen, I've seen it happen like 10 times in an hour. And because it's switching off of the battery power to the grid, then switching back to the battery power, it's very noticeable. Your lights are obviously, they more than flicker, they almost go completely off, and then your sensitive electronics, router, computers, TV, whatever, those might even completely shut down unless you got some sort of universal power source connected to them. So it's really, really disruptive and really a problem. As you can imagine, it's not real enjoyable to live with, and so I've got a workaround, but it's not a very good one. My workaround is that I'm actually only powering that panel with just one Delta Pro right now. It seems like when there's just one Delta Pro, this whole discharge error, this doesn't happen. Doesn't matter if the Delta Pro is at 100% or somewhere in between. When it's feeding from just one, it seems to work pretty seamlessly, continues to feed the circuits and charge the unit, and there's just no like balancing or any kind of issue there. When I have both of the Delta Pros active, and it doesn't matter which one I turn off, so it's not like it's isolated to one of the Delta Pros. If I just have one feeding it, it works fine. If I have both of them on and it gets to that state where, like, again, they're close to full, it apparently is really having some problems of late balancing and causing this behavior that we've seen. So what troubleshooting steps have I gone through with Ecoflow? Well, of course, I opened up a ticket with them. They came back. Some of the basic stuff, they announced they were updating a new firmware, and they wanted me to get the new firmware, completely disconnect everything, turn them off for 10 minutes, and then start them back up with the new firmware. Did that. I'm running the latest firmware. I'll show a picture of that at this time, and didn't improve it. It did seem, I didn't have a scientific method, but it did seem to occur less often than it was occurring before. I think I mentioned before it could happen like 10 to 20 times in an hour. It was very excessive. Very excessive. And now it was like down to like 3 or 4 times an hour, which I guess that's a little bit of improvement, but it shouldn't happen at all. It's a really disruptive thing when it happens. It's not just switching off and switching to grid power or vice versa, which is usually pretty fast and not too disruptive. But when it's switching off and then back on again, and then it's doing that multiple times, it absolutely is causing disruptions. So that's what we've tried so far. So yes, I will absolutely share the hopefully final solution with you when I get that, because I would hate for anyone else to be in the same situation I am, where they're having to limp along in kind of like a less than ideal state by running just one Delta Pro with their single phase circuits. But I don't have a solution for you other than that at the moment. And if anyone else is experiencing this, please feel free to comment. If you've found a way to resolve it, love to hear that as well, and we can share it with others. But otherwise, this is the current state, and it'll be interesting to see if Ecoflow is able to resolve. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.